not just to be different, but because usually the majority is wrong about a lot of things, especially in the world of the God of the world, which is science for a lot of people. But we were debaters. We would get into debates with our teachers about things that the science books say that, and we know they're wrong. So we would debate with our teachers about it, and it's one thing to be right about something, but to sometimes you can put being right above loving the person you're trying to teach. And being right becomes more important than loving that person. And I want to love the person in such a way that we can share perspective without being so dogmatic that we hurt one another. And there's also a realization that God is way more merciful to each one of us than we are of one another. We don't give nearly as much mercy and leeway and grace, and whatever you want to call it, as He gives us. And anyway, we should try to amend that behavior. We say, why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye but fail to notice the beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye while there's still a beam in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the beam out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Now, if we love one another, we can do this, and it's more like, scratching one another's back kind of thing. We can help. Okay. The thing is, think of that speck as a delusion. If your brother has a delusion and you have the same delusion, well, you can't really help one another out because you're both under the same delusion. And nobody can see the delusion that they're under. Because if they could see it, then it wouldn't be a delusion. But if you have been freed from that delusion, then you should be able to lovingly remove that delusion from your brother's eye if he's willing. Now that's tricky because some of the delusions we've had our whole entire life, and the whole life of our parents, and the whole life of our grandparents, and it's a deep-seated delusion. And one thing that I've noticed through all the testimonies of the rapture watching people on social media and YouTube is a very large trend of people under some delusions. And I'm not saying that God's not speaking through them, but it does explain how we get confused sometimes. Because what I've seen is that God, when He wants to reveal or speak to a person, He doesn't remove their delusion while He's speaking to them. And a delusion is like a tinted pair of glasses. And he tells them, shows them a vision or a dream, and they see the vision or dream, but they see it through the lens of their preconceived delusion in their own head. And God doesn't necessarily remove that delusion from them. And so when they go to explain their dream or vision to somebody else, they include the error in their own vision in their telling of it. And so we're not going to get rid of all the delusions, this side of heaven, I don't think. So we have to emphasize the antidote to pride, because I can tell you about your delusion and you won't receive it, or I can not tell you about your delusion, pray that you'll get out from under it. But there's a more important thing than removing all our delusions, and that's loving one another in spite of them. And if we love one another enough, then maybe there's enough grace in there to help one another out of those delusions. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels and have not love, I am only a ringing gong or a clanging cymbal. Or if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have absolute faith so as to move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and exult in the surrender of my body, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, is not rude, is not self-seeking, is not easily angered, it keeps no account of wrongs. Love takes no pleasure in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be restrained. Where there's knowledge, it will be dismissed. For we know in part, prophesy in part, but when the perfect comes, the partial passes away. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I set aside childish ways. Now we see but a dim reflection, as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, and then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. So we're like the larval stage of growth of some kind of creature, and we don't know what wings are at this stage. We don't know how to think. We only have bits and pieces. Anyway, thank you.